Yeah! Yeah! You stretch. Turn me up. Turn me up. Okay. Go drop it down for it. Go drop it down. Drop it. Go. Yeah! Yeah! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Okay! Yeah! Yeah! So there's this classic story about Michael Jordan that I just found out is a lie. It's a lie. You've heard about it since you were super, super young. It's a lie. The reason I need to explain to you why it's a lie, because once I do, it's going to help you as a student athlete, both in college and in high school. Once I tell you about this, you'll realize, as far as your work ethic, as far as your talent, as far as just how you approach the game, it's going to be different moving forward. Today I'm going to tell you all about this and how it's going to help you. Hoop loud. Before I tell you about this story about Michael Jordan, I need to talk to you about one thing that has everything to do with this story, so hang on with me. Hang tight. And that is standards. Standards as a student athlete. There's always going to be standards thrown at you. There's going to be GPA standards. There's going to be eligibility standards. There's going to be standards that your coach put on you saying that you got to be on time to go to class. You got to be on time when you go to practice. You got to go game speed because you need to go game speed to mimic the game, so it's not a huge adjustment once someone speeds you up when you have defense in front of you. There's going to be standards of sitting in the front row of the class. There's going to be standards of making sure you take care of your body. There's going to be standards of making sure you put the right things in your body to perform at your maximum potential. There's always going to be standards. Then there's going to be standards that are unspoken. Just ones that you should just know. Like, don't punch someone in the face when you get a foul just because you're frustrated. Like, be a good human being. Don't be stealing stuff. Things like that. Those are unspoken standards. But the most important standard are the standards you put on yourself. The standards you put on yourself. And I say that because one of the biggest mistakes I made when I was a student athlete is I gauged my standard I gauge my work ethic, my standards, based off of what everybody else is doing around me. So if I saw somebody making 400 shots in a practice session, I made 450. I made 500, just so I can say that I'm putting in more work than that person. But my thing is, it has nothing to do with my individual potential being tapped into. It has nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with that. The same thing with like studying, right? When I was studying in college, I would go to these study gatherings where everybody, 4 or 5 people go in one room and we study. And I'm thinking, I'm putting in the work they're putting in, so I should get the same type of grade they get. Well, if you know anything about me, I was special ed growing up. I was special education, failed the 6th grade, failed the 8th grade, special education classes. I'm a person that if I read to this day, I cannot read and hear everybody else talking to me around me. They can't be talking around me and me reading. It's just not going to work. I'm going to get frustrated. It does not work. I need silence. I don't even need to hear my heartbeat. Like if I hear my heartbeat when I'm reading, it throws everything off. So if you put me in a doggone study party or a study gathering, no studying is going to be done. So I will go on doggone, I will wait for the exam results to come out and see that I'm studying just like this person. I get a doggone F, this person gets an A. But it's because I based my work ethic based off the standards of the people around me. Back to athletics, if you do this, what's going to happen is you're going to start making excuses for yourself as far as not getting playing time. You're going to start saying, well, coach got favoritism. He got favorites on the team because this person don't put up half the amount of work that I put in. What they got to do with you? Nothing. Has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with you. You are holding yourself back by looking at the production of someone else. Worry about you. Worry about, are you maximizing your potential to do the very best you can? Because if you are, that doesn't make a difference if you get playing time or not, to be honest, because you've already maximized what you can do, so you just let the chips fall they may. Now, why does this have anything to do with this Michael Jordan story? Well, I'll tell you because you asked so nicely, and that is this. Michael Jordan did not make the team his 10th grade year. He got cut from the team his 10th grade year. That's how the story reads. He got cut. So if you listen to that story, you would think that they told this man to put on a skirt and some pom-poms and never to play basketball again because he's a scrub. You would think that they told him to play the piccolo, the flute, the doggone, the tambourine, because he shouldn't be playing. He should be playing basketball. He's just a scrub. If you listen to the story, that's what you would be led to believe. But if you do just a little bit of research, you'll realize this. He didn't make the varsity team. He's in 10th grade, ladies and gentlemen. 10th grade. Not 12th grade, 10th grade. So what I'm saying to you is this. 95% of sophomores in high school in the United States don't start varsity. They don't. Look, I didn't start playing varsity until I got some minutes when I was a junior. I will say that. When I was a junior. I definitely didn't get any when I was 10th grade. When I was a junior, I got some minutes. When I was a senior, I started. But when I was a sophomore, I was happy. First of all, I just started playing basketball going into my 9th grade summer year. I was happy to have a jersey in 10th grade. I was happy to have made the team in 10th grade. I would not be talking about, if I don't play varsity, if I don't start varsity, then it's a failure. But that lets you know the level of standard that Michael Jordan had. That he felt that was a failure in his eyes if he wasn't starting playing on varsity. I bring this up to ask you the question. What's your level of standard? For whatever it is, whether it be academically, your standard, or basketball, football, tennis, hockey, whatever sport you play. What's your standard? And I don't mean your standard as far as just the outcome. My standard is just to get the A. Like, what is your standard in the preparation of that? Your preparation in pursuit of that. What's your standard with that? And don't base it off what everybody else is doing. When you base it off what everyone else is doing, you are losing. You are shortchanging yourself. If there's one thing, I don't have very many regrets in life, but if there's one regret or one thing I would change as far as my student athlete experience, it would be that I will not be looking from side to side, trying to figure out what everybody else is doing and gauge my output based off what they're doing. Because I'm going to tell you this one thing. If you're like me, you've heard this. Hey, you shouldn't do drugs, you shouldn't do alcohol because it messes up your game, and you don't want anything to mess up your opportunity. Now, this is true, but let me tell you this. I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to make an endorsement for alcohol and drugs, because I'm not. But what I'm going to tell you right now may help you in the future. There are going to be people that do drugs, popping pills, smoking weed, alcohol, drunk, smell like alcohol when they get to practice, throwing up in practice, that will give you 40 by halftime. Okay? Now, this is not an endorsement for you to do those things, but this is just more of an encouragement to not worry about what the standards of others are and worry about you maximizing your potential. Forget what they're doing. Forget what they're doing, because it's be like them horses and put them blinders on and just worry about your potential. What do I need to do to maximize my potential? Don't be looking inside, like, what do I need to do? Don't be looking to the side. What do I need to do to maximize my potential? And at the end of the day, I can let the chips fall where they may. But I'm not going to level off because this person is playing and he's putting in less time than me.
Hoop loud.